Hi, this is Simon Jarrett for Kingsley Amplifiers, and this is a demonstration of the Kingsley Merlin. The Merlin is a guitar MIDI switcher, and the idea behind the Merlin is that it allows you to control MIDI devices directly from a switch mounted on your guitar. So the idea is you plug into the Merlin in the input jack, out of the Merlin you go into any effects pedals or your guitar amplifier, and there's a MIDI out on the back which sends MIDI program information to any MIDI devices you have. There's a foot switch for scrolling through banks of programs, so you can store in the Merlin anywhere from 2 up to 100 sounds. And there is a 2-digit LED readout to show you the current program you've selected. So with the Merlin there are some different options as to what kind of switch you want to mount on your guitar to control your MIDI program. So on this guitar we've got a push switch mounted right where the volume pot is. So the volume pot is changed for a special pot, and on this pot when you tap on the pot it sends information to the Merlin which sends program change information to your MIDI devices. The nice thing about this setup is that your guitar is cosmetically unaltered and functionally 100% as it was before. The pots can be 250k or 500k, so good for typical Fender and Gibson style guitars. Okay, so with this system you can scroll through 2 to 10 programs at a time. These programs are stored in the banks on the Merlin. So you can also determine how many programs you want. So if I want to scroll through 10, I can program the Merlin to scroll through 10 programs per bank. Or I can just scroll through 3, 4, 5, or even just 2. So a nice simple setup would be maybe just use the Merlin to change amp channels such that you've got a clean tone and an overdrive tone, and that's it. In the next little demo clip I'll use the Les Paul to demonstrate exactly this. The second switching option that you can put on your guitar is the Rotary Switch. I've put a rotary switch in the position of the second tone knob So on this guitar I have a global tone control, and then here I have the rotary switch. So the rotary switch gives me access to 10 MIDI programs. It's kind of nice because I can go quickly from one program to another. One maybe switch straight to 4 or to 8, and the Merlin will show that program with its LED readout. There's actually an 11th position on this rotary switch, and its function is to select the third switching option, which I'll get to in a minute. So here's the rotary switch on the Strat. So the third switching option for the Merlin is the pickup selector switch on a Stratocaster or on a Stratocaster style guitar. If you have a guitar that uses one of these switches, you can replace it with one of our pickup selector switches, and what it does is it still allows you to select pickups in a normal manner, but it also activates MIDI programs at the same time. In the bridge position, or position number 1, you get MIDI program number 1. In the second position for bridge and middle, you get MIDI program 2, MIDI program 3, 4, 5. So this is kind of interesting, as now we have the ability to select specific sounds or effects on a pickup per pickup basis. A nice application for this would be to fatten up the sound of a particular pickup. Let's say you've got a bridge pickup which is a little bit thin, which is often the case with Stratocasters in comparison to the other pickups. So when you go to the bridge pickup, then MIDI program 1 can activate something to fatten up the sound of that pickup. It could be an EQ pedal or a compressor or a boost or an overdrive, or it could change channels on your amp, whatever you like. Meanwhile, the other pickup selections could remain as per normal. Now you can do all sorts of other things. You could activate certain effects for certain pickup selections on a song per song basis. Maybe you've got a certain song which requires tremolo on the bridge pickup, so boom, tremolo active. Maybe halfway through the song you've got to switch to the neck pickup and do a bluesy solo, and you want light overdrive and delay. So that's what you assigned for MIDI program 5. As on the other switching methods, you can assign these programs to effects on a bank per bank basis. So you can have different options as you go through the banks. Alright, so I'll show you how it works on the Strat. So we've looked at the three principal switching methods that we have for the Merlin. They are the push switch, the rotary switch, and the pickup selector switch. Depending on the type of guitar you're using and your preferences, you may choose one method over the other. Alternatively, you might want to have two methods or even three on the same guitar. In the case of the rotary switch and the slide selector switch, these two go very well together because the rotary switch, while it gives you access to 10 MIDI programs, it has 11 positions. And when you click on the 11th position there, that's what kicks in the pickup selector switch such that it is able to send MIDI information. Now, as far as the guitar goes, we've been careful to design this such that the guitar remains cosmetically as it was before, and the guitar will require a minimum of modifications. You don't need to put any batteries in your guitar, you don't need to route your guitar. What you do need to do is put in the preferred switching option, which you can get from us, and you need to put a stereo output jack on your guitar. You plug into the Merlin with a stereo patch cable. Now, if you're not using the Merlin, your guitar will still function as it did before, even if you use a mono cable. So while the Merlin is a MIDI product, it should be mentioned that there are a lot of devices on the market now which allow you to control non-MIDI products through MIDI. A lot of people have fairly elaborate pedal boards now with MIDI switching, and the MIDI switching often incorporates relays which activate effects loops, so you can put in analog or digital pedals which don't have MIDI in these effects loops, and through MIDI you can turn them on and off. So the Merlin can talk to your MIDI foot switcher. With an amplifier, you can buy aftermarket devices which allow you to control amplifier channel selection or perhaps internal effects like reverb and tremolo through MIDI. So the Merlin can still talk to your non-MIDI amplifier in that way. So if you have a system where you've already got a MIDI setup, you may be covered as far as foot switches are concerned, but the Merlin is still a nice addition to this setup, as it allows you some extra flexibility. It also allows you to be away from your pedal board and still be able to access certain sounds on the fly. So a nice setup is to have your pedal board, which allows you access to all your sounds. But if you have certain key sounds which you tend to always gravitate towards, 2 or 3 or 4 sounds, well, those could be programmed into the Merlin, and then you could access those at any time straight from the guitar. We'll also be coming out down the line with some related products which allow direct from guitar switching without the need for MIDI. So we'll be using effects loop switching and relays for that. We'll also be adding similar circuitry into our amplifiers as an option, so you can change channels on your amplifier directly from your guitar without the use of any pedals at all. You can just plug straight in your amp and you can access the different channels. And if the amp has a MIDI facility as well, you can plug into your amp and you can still access effects which are plugged into the amp's effects loop. Alright, well, thanks very much for watching.